Welcome to the Dirty Folks podcast. I'm your main man, Dirty Folks. Um, I did a stream yesterday about the platinum plan or whatever it's called, the contract for Black America, and I spoke a lot about why it was redundant and why it wouldn't pass the litmus test. But I kind of got bothered like later on that day, yesterday, because I didn't offer an alternative, a solution, right? So I hate to talk about problems and not offer a solution. To talk about a problem and not offer a solution, that's just Twitter, right? Um, so when people ask me about it, which blah blah blah, which inspired me to talk about it in the first place. When people ask me about um did I believe in the platinum plan, did I believe in the contract for Black America? And I told them no, I believed in the honorable chairman Larry Hoover 4-step program for Tony and swarthy men. I realized that I was remiss in talking about his 4 steps. There's 5 steps. I added one to it. But so his steps were education, economics, politics, social development. I added a fifth, religion, right? So education is simple. And we've been going through a lot of this, but in our particular case, the easiest ways to do it is ESL and boarding. You get the most money, it's the most efficient, you have the most control. There's only 4 classes that you have to teach kids. Everything else is an elective. You can cut your school day down to 4 hours a day and make everything else a life skill. And everything can proceed with the proceedings, right? The second thing being economics. Everybody talks about money. I won't go deep into that. But what I will go is you have to have a centralized finance entity, whether it's a bank, a trust, a foundation, and it's just tribally run. Not that big of a deal. It doesn't affect anybody's money. And I think that there's a underlying thing that people are afraid that to trust other people, but they're not afraid to trust logos, right? Like you don't know who runs Fifth Third Bank or Wells Fargo, but you don't mind putting your money in there because of the logo. You don't know the cashier, the teller you gave your money to. You just trust she'll do what you're supposed to do because of the logo. So you have to support all those things through the logo. So everybody who has a thing, they just put their thing through the logo. It doesn't affect your money any. As a matter of fact, it helps you out because it gives you a tax shelter on top of your tax break. For instance, how many companies are shelter companies for umbrella companies, right? Pepsi own a lot of stuff, so Pizza Hut to be under Pepsi. So Pizza Hut, they own entity, they get their own money, and then they get additional tax breaks and shelter from Pepsi. So they really pay no taxes, and they can pay lower uh, employee costs and all of that. The third thing was, let's say, education, economics, politics. Politics is tricky because politics really doesn't matter on the macro. It just matters on the micro. For instance, they say all politics are local, right? But people don't care about local. People care about president because people want a king. They don't see themselves as an employee of the corporation of America because they don't see themselves as American. They see themselves as a crayon. Or if they're a tether, they see themselves as somebody who came to America to get some money and go back home. The only people, that's why everybody look at the white boys, because the white boys are patriotic, like we live here. And if you were born here, you should have that same energy, like yeah, we live here. Um, so politics is as simple as building rules that work for the people who have to do the heavy lifting. What America has done, what communists have done, not what America, what communists have done, boomers and women, and that tiny hats. What the communists have done is make you believe that life is only fair when you weaken the strong. Life is only fair when you pick the cornerstone brick, when you tear down the supporting beam, right? And America allows you to do that on a personal level, but not on a corporate level, right? Because corporately, what they're telling you now, companies need to pay more taxes, companies need to make more payroll, company needs to do everything that they can do to tear their company down from the inside out, right? That's what they do, right? So they'll say they won't show you the picture of Jeff Bezos in the living room with an old Mac PC used that he got at some, I don't know, yard sale or something, with a banner that he made himself on cardboard that said Amazon on his wall. They won't show you the man. They won't show you Jeff Bezos in the crib trying to make it happen with a $30,000 loan that he got from his father-in-law. His wife's daddy had to help him. His, his wife helped him too, but his wife daddy had to help him. He ain't had no bread. He married well. He married well. And now you see the $1 billion juggernaut that Amazon is, and Amazon needs to pay more. Nobody helped Jeff when Jeff was trying to lift it during that Clinton administration when the tech boom was going, and he was just a dude with an idea that just wanted to sell his book. And was like, well, maybe other people want to sell books, just like MySpace. Tom just want you to hear his music. Like maybe other bands want people to hear their music. They don't take it from the living room. They see the success and say, yo, you need to break your stuff down from the inside. You were too successful. You need to give me all your money. They do the same thing to athletes, right? You get that signing bonus. Oh, you need to come back to the hood and give me all your money. Communism. Politics are supposed to support the strong that support the society. So even when you talk about political development, you have to change your mindset of how do we support the strong so the strong can support us, right? Because generally speaking, communists are selfish people. When they talk about communing and we all need to have the same amount of stuff, that's because they're lazy bastards. Don't worry, don't listen to them. And then the last one on the Hoover plan was social development, a sense of tribalism, which could easily be number one, easily. A sense of tribalism that makes you want to go out there and build the parks and volunteer for the basketball games and do all the things that it takes in order for you to commune in unity. But when you talk about the four things, and I added my own fifth, but when you talk about the four things that Larry Hoover said, education, that's a man thing. A man thing. I challenge you to look for any math book from 1890. I challenge you. A fifth grade math book from 1890. I guarantee you that you'll have trouble doing the math. Because you're at a time in which 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids could make decisions and literally lose the farm. So they had to know the difference between a peck, a pint, an ounce, how much, how many grains go into a pound, how much the pound sells for, and what time. They had to do quantitative math in 1890, so they literally didn't lose the farm. Why did so many black people lose the farm doing sharecropping? Because they couldn't do the math. So they were putting bad contracts. You'd be like, oh, because that's slavery. Okay, if it was slavery in 1890, why colors couldn't do the math and lost the farm, tell me why in 1990 colors couldn't do the math and sold their masters for $30,000. Now they making rap music and got them in man making millions. And they talking about, man, the label cut me a $30,000 check, man, and I went gold. I ain't say no money. I got to go on tour, 360 days a year just to see some money. You can't blame everything on white supremacy. At some point, you got to say, yo, when schools were separated by gender, Forget the racism. The racism existed. I said I'm on record saying Jim Crow was worse than slavery, all that. But even during Jim Crow, even through Reconstruction, when men were educated separately of women, men went from zero national wealth to almost 2%. You got the Tulsa, Oklahomas. You got the Bronzeville areas of Chicago. You got the Harlem Renaissance. It was money in the streets when men were educated separately of women. It wasn't until the co-ed thing started, which was the second part of integration people don't want to talk about, right? It wasn't until the co-ed started where boys got dumber because they had to learn how girls learn. And girls learn, girls don't really learn, girls don't know shit, but girls have great memory. So if you put it in a book and then you ask them to regurgitate what they read in the book, women are really good at that. They're really good at remember frivolous stuff. Men are more action based, like we're more hands on dexterity. I need to see how that works. So you can tell me that there's 4 pints in a quart. You can tell me that. And I'm like, all right, I'll pass the test. Or when 4 pints in a quart really matters because I got to milk this cow or I'm bootlegging moonshine liquor, right? And I got to put pints in a quart and I got to price it effectively, or how many grams come in an ounce and how many ounces come in a pound and how many pounds are in a kilo. And you got niggas who dropped out of 3rd grade, but they great drug dealers and they be like, I don't know math, but them motherfuckers know what a 3.5 is. They know what 3.5 grams are. They pull out a digital scale. Before the digital, they had the fish scale. Shout out to True Hype, man. Gratitude, sir. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to True Hype for the $5 super chat, man. Support the show, man. Click like. So education, number one, comes down to educate your boys. Girls don't need an education, not past 3rd grade. They need to be able to read the ingredients on cereal and directions on how to stir pots. They don't really need to know anything. And I tell you that in all sincerity, not because I'm being bogus, but because if you've seen the college students since No Child Left Behind, all the most educated, they can't read, bro. They kids can't read. They can't read. You can't tell me you came from a school system in Baltimore where 98% of the kids can't read at 5th grade level, but you went to college and now all of a sudden you're educated. And there's a story about that. I think Palmer did it. Either I did it or Mr. Palmer did it, about a father that was upset that his daughter was in Baltimore in the top 2% of all students in Baltimore, then went to then tried to go to the military and she couldn't pass the entry exam, which is an entry exam that people with GEDs can pass. And she was like, man, she wasted her whole time not knowing shit. Basically, her whole 18 or whole 12 years in school, 13 years in school, including kindergarten, all she learned was something to get her to a 4th grade level at a different place before No Child Left Behind. So education, all right, boom, separate that. Boys from the girls. Don't teach girls. Teach girls charm school. What happened to charm school? Teach girls how to be girls so they'll be happier. Teaching girls with boys as a secondary downfall is the women want to be more masculine because they're competing with boys who don't have enough sense to compete with girls, right? Boys just want to be the best, but they're not competing with girls. Boys are competing with the goal. I want to be the best at. And they have to dumb down the boys and do everything they can. Put the smart boys in special needs classes because he disrupt because they ain't learning nothing. Or whatever the case may be. So cool. Education, separate the boys. Do ESL for the boys. Teach them a second language. You know how much bread you get and how you don't have to teach your sons how to suck dick? You know what I mean? You don't have to teach your sons transgender story hour if you make it ESL and you add a couple of other benefits, right? Because it's not part of your curriculum. Once you say you're going to go ESL, you make your own curriculum. Boom. Then So education, economics. Like I said, whatever you're doing, do what you do. Just take your whatever. Niggas love to talk about an EIN number. You get it like EIN numbers do not make you rich, my nigga. They do not make you rich. I've been playing with EIN numbers since I was 17 doing ghost payrolls. Just because you get an EIN doesn't mean you still have to move the product, bro. People do, you want tax shelter? Tax shelter of what? So don't worry about that part. Worry about being proficient at what you do to be qualified to put your business under the logo and get the push of the logo. Put your business under a foundation, under tribal foundation. Now you don't pay any taxes. Keep your accountant straight, you'll be cool. But economics, all this is simple shit though. Like people make it difficult and we need these demands and we wasn't. Don't worry about none of that. Keep it simple, stupid. Education, economics, politics is basically making sure you do whatever you can in order to keep the strong and keep the weak weak. Quit trying to empower the weak. To empower, by definition, means that you're putting power into something with no power. Have you ever tried to jump a battery and your battery died? Now both of y'all on the side of the road fucked up. Quit trying to empower things that should not have power. Enslave things that should not have power. They're happier with slavery. Like when I showed y'all the opportunity zone map last night, and I said the opportunity zone map that's supposed to be to encourage business and entrepreneurs and economics, but they somehow are the poorest places in America. That's why they opportunity zones, right? They all voted for Kamala. And when you go to those opportunity zone meetings, there's some little white woman. I got to get back to the white girl magic. There's this little white woman trying to tell black people how to open up a small business account. Like you couldn't go to the bank and that's their job to tell you how to open up a small business account. You got an EIN, you got your ID, I open up an account. They have whole forums where little white girls come to teach little black girls and get paid to teach little black girls simple shit like get your EIN, open up a checking account. All right, God bless you, good night. Like that's it. It's all a hustle. It's all a white girl hustle. And social development. Social development is keeping your girls in Al 5, keeping your boys strong. The fifth one I'm going to add to it is religion. Because religion is the ability to keep everybody on the same moral compass. The further a group gets from religion, the more deleterious they get, the more criminal they get, the more violent they get, the less ethical they get, the more single mothers you see, the more abortions you root for, the more sons murdered in the streets you get. When you don't have in your religious base, it has to enforce. I think the biggest problem I've had, and I had these arguments with Nation of Islam guys all the time, but I think the biggest problem I have with the NOI is ever since the boomers, everything's been catered to a white woman, right? Or women in general. So your social net, your social safety nets that were normally men became the job of liberal white women as men who could read left the community, right? Because what's the benefit, right? Once you don't love your brother as you love yourself, once you love these hoes instead of loving the bros, you lose your social safety, right? That's why you have slogans like bros over hoes, money over bitches. I mean, you had those because when brothers stick together, everything flows. Boomers and a lot of Gen Xers apparently have delineated from loving your brother to loving a girl or looking for love from a girl. And then the social fabric breaks because you'll backstab your guy for a girl. She gonna be messy. You fighting niggas like Tone Loc and Tupac and Poetic Justice because your girl got 3 babies by 3 different niggas and 3 different gangs, and like it becomes messy when you allow your toddler to have a voice in society instead of having an overwhelming force to make sure that your strongest, your earners, your protectors, your providers are provided for and feel safe to protect, to feel inspired and feel validated by doing those things. I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm saying you have to create the value for your brethren to do those things. That's the social development, and a lot of social development and to be honest with you, a lot of education comes from religion. You let women take over religion, and they brought in the gays, and now heterosexual men don't go to church, and now you missing that, and you still believe in God. You still running around talking about I'm spiritual, but you don't have a religious base. Like I don't go to church though, man. Church is like college almost. Church almost make you gay. Church is a the best. Church is a hospital for sinners. So you have the crackheads, you got the single moms, you got the gay dudes. It's a hospital for sinners, and it takes away your strongest, right? The people who need a purpose. Your Knights of the Templar. Your Knights of the Templar were a whole different fighting force just for the Vatican. They were the monks, right? The Buddhist monks, all the ninja monks, right? Kung Fu monks. Same thing. When your God is within you and your religion reinforces your intestinal fortitude, your community safe. That's all I have to say about that though, man. I just wanted to get and I actually got something for everything I said, man. We got things in the works for everything that we're talking about. Like I said, man, me and my boy Keith run the Houston, he's the Houston assistant superintendent of schools. So he helping us with a curriculum, a streamlined curriculum for boys only, so they can get out of school by 16 with their degree and spend 2 years as an internship being, believe it or not, police, right? Pap them, nigga. So from 16 to 18, they patrol the block because you have to give them a feeling of authority. Say, this is what it means to protect. I might not give them a gun. I might give them a billy club or taser or something. But you got to protect, patrol, be part of the action, be part of the solution base. Know how it feels to have authority, right? But yeah, he gonna get them out by 16, right? Because you shouldn't be in school past 16 anyway. You only get funded to 16. Your junior and senior year is a whole separate block grant. That's why they can't kick you out of school until you 16, and you can't leave school until you 16. But if you fucking up, they'll get rid of you on your 16th birthday because the funding runs out. It's a child care funding. You're supposed to be out of school before the child care runs out. Your junior and senior year is almost like junior college funding. As a matter of fact, before people started playing with words and y'all didn't know what words mean anymore, elementary school was elementary. They literally used to call high school college, and what we call college now was called university, right? So basically, after you turn 16, you're in college. That is college block funding. You're on a Pell Grant. You don't know it because the school writing it for you, but you really under a Pell Grant. You in college and they're not telling you. You still physically in high school, but you're under college funding. And then when you graduate from high school, you end up going to university, or if you can't read, you end up going to college, right? Community college, ICDC college or something. But all this is a trick, bro. So we got my boy for the education. We got my nigga Low. Papel. Education, economics. Economics gonna work itself out. Economics gonna work itself out. Politics, I got you. Social development is attached to religion. Somebody will come up. As I become better at doing tutorial videos on our religion and dropping the Bible and marketing on Amazon, you'll see it. Now I do understand though, even though I'm talking to mostly black people, I understand y'all not coming with it. I understand y'all not coming with it. But I also want you guys to know it's not that hard. This is not 100-year mission. I'm not going to show the video right now, but I've shown it to you before. That I started off with 2 boys and had 200 in 2 weeks. If you build it, people will come, and they'll come rapidly. Rapidly. What they're giving you right now is bread and circus. If you give a person sustenance and opportunity, they come even quicker. So it ain't hard, bro. All the shit will pop. Anyway, I just wanted to get the and all these things you can do right now, and you can only do in this last era of democracy. I truly believe that if we don't get this done in the next 2 years, we'll be begging. We'll be in FEMA camps. I believe that. All the opportunity. You don't even have to talk to anybody about this shit. Everything that I'm talking about is already available. There's funding already on the table. We already approved. We already approved is a cool word, but that's not what I want to. We're already well, approving. You got the bread, so that's not the right word. But we have access to it. Like all our T's are crossed, all our all our I's are dotted. Like we right here in the mix. Everything that you need, we already have. All people need is the courage of their conviction to do it for somebody else besides themselves. It's the selfishness that's keeping colors back. It's not the lack of opportunity. It's the fact that you'll never have enough if all you want is enough for you. Because you don't need much to be all right. But when you start talking, I'm gonna do this for me, and people give suggestions, and I think they're I don't give y'all information on purpose, but I think people that tell y'all information, it's always one smart dude on these little YouTube streams I see, like, little groups. It'd be one smart dude just trying to show how smart he is, trying to help people, talk people through how to do cool. I ain't telling y'all shit. I don't educate the slaves, man, and I don't throw pearls to swine. I fuck with tribe. Everything else is conversation. But it's always a dude trying to tell y'all, I do this for you. Man, I got 10,000 hours of knowledge, and I'm going to give it to you for free because I want you to be good. You know what they're going to do? Give it all to a bitch, and then the bitch going to set you up. Y'all do everything wrong, man, because y'all have no social development. Y'all trying to be men coming out the daycare. Y'all have no social development. Every tribal group moves the same, bro. The whites, the Asians, the Arabs, the Indians, all groups move the same because men move like men. Y'all just get shamed out of being men. The same way they tell you that the greatest corporations should go broke to give it to the poorest people. They tell you the greatest athletes and entertainers should go broke to make sure all they broke friends and mama and cousins is good. The same way they say that you believe that it's her baby. You believe it's our baby, but it's her baby. And as a man, you should break yourself. She can get the house, the dog, the car, and the kid, and you back in your mama basement working and got them providing for a motherfucker you can't fuck no more, and you think that's natural. They break you down fundamentally. Y'all already think it's fucked up. When America was great, and what made America great is men got custody of the kids primarily. Women didn't get primary custody of the kids until the Great Depression. 1920s, 1930s. Men had primary custody and women got mad, and men was like, you can leave me, you can divorce me. It's my kid. Like, you can stay here with me and my kid, or you can leave. And women wanted to leave, but they wanted to take the kid because they never loved you. They never wanted you, but they need the kid because they need something to love them. The way that black men see black women as, I need a hug because my mama never hugged me. Women see children of, I need somebody to love me unconditionally because I don't know how to love. And when they got custody, then families broke up. It's a lot of reasons family broke up. A little bit is because they got money. A lot because they got the kid. You get custody of the kid, bro, she's still going to leave, but the kid will be straight. The kid still know how to read. She leave with the kid can't read. Probably be a killer or gay. That's all they raise is killers, cows, and fat. That's it. Killers, cowards, gays. That's all they know how to raise, right? You got the kid be well rounded, know how to read, right? Be able to work where you work until they find something else. They get their first job. You give them an opportunity so they can get a couple of dollars, figure out what they want to be when they like. They'll be all right. Oh man, we already know kids. Women don't love the kids, bro. I know that, bro. But generally speaking, I'm saying from the giddy up, women shouldn't have custody of kids. From the giddy up, there was a reason that women didn't have property rights. From the giddy up, because they saw how they did the Native American women, how they stole the land. Everybody think they stole the land with guns. They stole the land by tribes fighting other tribes, and they played the middleman. And then they created rules that tribal chiefs agreed to about marriage rights, and because Native Americans were matriarchal, which is another reason I think motherfucking the natives was black, bro. Since Native Americans are matriarchal, all property rights and all tribal rights went through the woman. And so when a white man marry a Native American woman, he just assumes her land. And they did the same thing. Dick tricks. But so what? So they realized, man, it's that easy. We don't want to lose what we got. So man, we need to make sure that property stays in the hands of men, and we need to make sure that only people who have a vested interest can vote on what's going to happen next. So that's why you had only property owners could vote, and then women got mad, like I want to have a voice. I want to be able to leave my man, and chaos ensued because y'all don't keep your phone in there. Anyway, man, I just wanted to get y'all the part two of what I was talking about yesterday, man. I actually went longer than I wanted to go, so I got to go get a haircut. I might come back on later though. Grab Snow, man. Snow, I'm gonna call you, man. We're gonna do something together later, man. I miss you, bro. We ain't get a angry folks stream in a minute, but I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack, tribe up.